the Gemara. Daf Kuf Dalet Amud Beis, the Mishnah. Zog the Mishnah, Oif Oile Magvin Ala Shulchan Ve'ein Nechel. You could put the chicken and the cheese on the table. You can't eat it together. You're not allowed to bring it together on the table. You're not allowed to eat it. Here. Kuf Daled on the base, the Mishnah. Right here.
Thank you.
Again, you could put the chicken on the table with the cheese, but you can't eat it. Basil say you're not allowed to eat it, you're also not allowed to put it on the table. This is from the things that are akula b'sham, and Basil is machmer, it's unusual, right? This is one of those things. The Gemara the Mishnah continues. Which kind of table? The table that he eats. If it's a table counter, right? Because only the problem, maybe eat it, is only by a table, not by a counter.
Halachic healer, right?
Yeah, that's the halacha. Zog the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Tanakama. Rabbi Yochanan, this is the Tanakama. What's the Mishnah saying? The Mishnah is saying that anyone that looks could figure out that this is one of the things where Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel are reversed than the usual. Everyone could see that this is from the Kuli Beis Shammai from Beis Hillel. Why does it Rabbi Yochanan saying? Obviously, Beis Hillel is machmed. You see, that's what Beis Hillel says. Beis Hillel says, lo yorlo, lo nechel. Beis Hillel is machmed. Can't you see it on your own? You need Rabbi Yochanan to tell me this? There's a machloikes about achila, and it's the Komer Tanakama baloka miflagi, bachila loika miflagi. The law according to Tanakama, Besham Misel both agree they're not allowed to eat chicken and cheese. The only shaila is if you're allowed to put it on the same table. Rabbi Yochanan came along and said, no, that the machlok is also barachila. B'sham say you're allowed to eat chicken and cheese. And say you're not allowed to. If you're going to say that's the pshat, can be. Vatanya, that's not the case. Vatanya, we learned the ferish and a braisa. Rabbi Yochanan, Mashisha dvar mekul b'sham achum b'sil. The 6 things are achum b'sham and one of them zu achas. If oila magvina ala shulchan ve'eino nachol. B'sham, you're not allowed to eat it, but you're allowed to put it on the same table. But it still says you can't do both. You can't do it.
Himself, Rabbi Yochanan is saying it.
That's what Rabbi Yochanan is saying. So Rabbi Yochanan is saying exactly like the Tanakama.
Why are you putting on people not eating it? What is the decoration?
He's coming with groceries, a lot of groceries.
Oh, just stick it on the table, all packed up?
Yeah, or not even packed up. What's the difference? He's not eating it now.
Serve it on a platter.
I'm not serving it yet. I'm putting it in the fridge. So I have a piece of cheese and I'm going to wrap it up in cellophane. But I'm just it's sitting on the counter, I'm organizing my fridge. I'm allowed to put meat and milk on the same.
Not?
Okay.
We put in the fridge meat and milk.
Right.
It's separate.
Right. Latanya. Okay, so why is Rabbi Yochanan telling me that this is from the Chumrah Beis Hillel? It's obvious. If you learn the Mishnah, you see Beis Hillel machmer. Beis Shammai says you can't eat chicken and cheese. But you can put it on the same table. Beis Hillel says, no, you can't put it on the same table. What's the Mishnah telling you about Rabbi Yochanan? Elo kamash malon. The Gemara says that this is what the Mishnah is teaching us. Man Tanakama Rabbi Yochanan. Who is the Tanakama Rabbi Yochanan? A person that says something in the name of the person that said it brings a gula to this world. This is also a Gemara in Nidin. It's also in Pirkei Avos Perek Vav Mishnah Vav.
Why is that? You giving credit to people?
Yeah, 1 second. Look at Rashi. Rabbi Yochanan Vav Dvarim. Yesh Dvarim. Yesh Achedim. I'm sorry. Rabbi Yochanan Vav Dvarim. Yesh Achedim Harbe. There was a lot of things. At these 6, they were not moide. Shir b'shama mekil u'b'sil machmirin. Kol omer davar b'shem omri. So the Rashi explains. Atona shochach. The Mishnah forgot. V'lehiske shmoy betchila. The Mishnah didn't mention who said this memre. V'chozav v'hiske v'shmoy, and then he mentioned his name.
So
It's a very funny thing. So the Mishnah, the Bala Mishnah said, oh, you should know that Beis Shammai holds you can't eat chicken and cheese. You can put it on the same table. Basil says, you like we said last week, we treat chicken like meat. Chicken we treat like meat. So you can't eat it together. You can put it on the same table. You can't do anything. You can't, right? That's what we did last week. That was a chiddush. Why can't we? Why? The actual thing that you can't eat chicken and cheese is exera derabanan. Now they said even a bigger exera on top of that. So we said the lom this last week. It's not a double exera. It's one exera. Chazal said we want you to treat chicken like meat.
Shema.
That's it.
Shema.
So that's it. So now the Mishnah said this in the name of Beis Hillel. Then he remembered, hey, I heard this from Rabbi Yosi. So he said, oh, my Rabbi Yosi, this is a thing where we find Beis Hillel is mekel. He meant to say, I forgot to say that Rabbi Yosi. Why did he want to say it in the name of Rabbi Yosi? Because a person that says something in the name of where he heard it, it makes a gula. How do we know this? Because the story of Esther and Mordechai. Mordechai heard they want to kill the king. So he told Esther. So Esther could ingratiate herself to the king and say, I heard there's a plot against you to kill you. Oh, wow. But she didn't do that. She said that Mordechai told me. So because she told them that Mordechai said this, and now it was found out to be true, so now it was put in the chronicles of the Achashverosh that his life was saved. And then Balayla, who not the Shnasa Melech, and he couldn't sleep, and I started with Bixim V'Sheresh. And then came Haman the next day, and Achashverosh says, "What should we do?" And Haman says to himself, a whole story, and that was the beginning of the end of Haman. So the whole Geula came from this because Esther told the king in the name of Mordechai. So why did the Mishnah have to say it like? It's funny. The Mishnah is saying it like this. We'll rewrite the Mishnah. So I guess the Mishnah is trying to teach us how important it is. Otherwise, we would never know how important it is. The Mishnah wants us to know how important it is that there is a thing of Mevi Gula La'olam. So that's why the Mishnah tells us. He said the Memra, and then he hey, Rabbi Yosi, you should know it comes from Rabbi Yosi. Okay. There's a beautiful Amoyde. This is one of the sweetest sichas. Amoyde dike hezbe from the Rebbe on this sugya. In general, there seems to be, before anything, there seems to be a contradiction here. It says in Pirkei Avos, it's said as a special thing. If you say something in someone's name, you bring a gula to the world. The Gemara says in the Dorim, a person that if you tell something and you don't say b'shem Oimre, you're a pirate. Al tikzel talking dalu, piracy, intellectual piracy. Come along and say, I'm brilliant, I have a thing, I have a thought. The Baba Mai says, I hear it, it's piracy. Piracy again.
If you don't remember who it is?
That's the way it is, yeah. So, oy bazoi. So what is it that the Pirkei Avos says? That a person that says something in the name of the person who said it, bring Geula, give me platters with knishes. If I didn't do it, I'm a Ganev. So now that I wasn't a Ganev, say, wow, a tzaddik, a chassid, he's bringing the Geula to the world. It's saying, what? That's it. What's the big deal? So you can't steal. You don't steal.
Theft of intellectual property.
Right. So we don't know in Judaism. It's a very complicated sugya, intellectual property. But
because it's so easy to pirate it. That's why.
Yeah, it's a complicated sugya. But anyway, that's what the Gemara says. If you say a memra and you don't say it in the name of the person who said it, you're a ganav. So now, why is it? What's Pirkei Avos doing? So the Rebbe has a moededike. The Rebbe asks like this. We find that Tanoim said things and they didn't give it over in the name of the person that said it. What's the raya? One of the 5 prize students of Rabbi Yochanan, he talks about his 5, Pikiyovas talks about his 5 big students, and he's the one student that could outweigh everyone, and this was, and said Rabbi Elazar Godel was Loi Omar Dovish L'Shama B'Rabel Olam. He never said his own thing, Chidushim. Whatever he said, it was they heard from his Rebbe. But yet we find in the Shas many times that Rabbi Eliezer says things, he doesn't tell you who said it. And we know the Gemara says he never made up anything on his own. So how come he doesn't tell us who said it? You could say pilpulim, they'll steal is only if you know the person is makbid, if he's not makbid. The Rebbe has a moededike thought. Moededike thought. This is based on another thought that the Rebbe has. Api Kabbalah, we say that Bishama's neshamas came from Gvura. Hillel's neshamas came from Chesed. That's why Bishama, Hillel said, there's always a way to Behilel Neidei. We can always shine a light and we can always elevate the sparks. Shammai said, no. It's not going to work. They were from Gvura. There's a story about one of the big Chassidish Rabbonim that the Chassid, the Rebbe Marash, and they had a din Torah. The people in the town were very upset at him. Stories told them one way or another way, so they came to the Rebbe Marash. He's Makel all the time. You hear this? The story? He's always Makel. This rabbi is crazy. Everything is kosher. Everything is kosher. They were upset. The butchers were upset. Everything is kosher by this guy. He doesn't see treif. Everything is kosher. You see, I think today you wouldn't have butchers complaining. I don't think you had caterers. This rabbi's crazy. Always, Shiloh is kosher.
Pay him more.
Shiloh is kosher. Everything is kosher.
When I was on broadcast with Rabbi J.J. Hecht, he told me once a story that he got shimush somewhere in Brownsville by some rabbi over there, and it was down the block from the Schlachtoys. In Brownsville, I remember even as a kid going that they had things. So he says every week a lady used to come with a chicken, and she used to ask the Rav, it was already plucked and feathered, or whatever, no feathers. She wants to know if it's kosher. And he would look to see if there's any broken bones or whatever the thing is. If it's kosher. So he was like a Grudic type of guy who would ask questions. So he asked her once, lady, he said, I don't understand. Every week you're coming to ask if this is kosher. She says, yeah, I go to the A&P and I buy it in the A&P. But if the rabbi says it's kosher, then it's kosher. And he assumed that it was coming from the Schlachters down the block.
Can be assumed. You have to ask question and to check.
Okay, so I'm saying this is...
Wow.
Yeah. So the Chassidim had the complaint. They said everything is kosher. So they, Marash turned to the Rav. So he said, "Look, I will come in heaven, and if I said a cow was not kosher, the Jews won't eat the meat. They're not going to eat it for Shabbos, for Yom Tov. They're not going to use the energy to learn Torah, to daven. Who's going to be angry? The cow is going to be angry. Maybe the cow really was kosher, and I was just frivolous. Instead of sitting and sweating and coming up with a mahalach to prove that it's kosher, I just today. So the goyim ate the meat. The behemoth is going to be angry. Take midden Torah. I'm going to argue. I'm going to bring the shach and the taz and the prima godim. I'm going to bring the beis meir. I'm going to bring rayas. But in the meantime, I'm arguing with who? With the cow. If I said it's kosher, and really it's treif, what's going to happen? The shach will say, you said it's kosher, I said it's treif. I'm say, wait a minute, but the taz is on my side. He said, no, the taz is wrong. So I'm going to bring a raya, we're going to argue. Who am I spending time with? The shach. I want to spend time with the cow or with the shach. So, going back to our sugya. There is neshamas that always see chumrah. Some see kula. Beis Hillel always said, but these are sparks of holiness. There's a way to redeem it. We have to be lenient. Beis Shammai always saw it differently. No, some are choice of gvura. They always came from the standpoint of gvura. It's dangerous. This is poison. Stay away from it. Stay away. You think you're going to purify it, and you're going to, instead of you elevating this subject or object, it's going to drag you down. Forget about it. Walk away from it. Beis Shammai was beers and bulls. So, the shaila. Are you allowed to paskin based on your neshama? You have to paskin based on the intellect. Torah is lo b'shamayim, but not in heaven. The Alter Rebbe brings in the introduction of Tanya, and all in Kabbalah, it's all, all in the stand that every one of the Tainoim, the Meiroim, the neshama came from here, from there, and based on where the neshama came from, everything that's said is based on the neshama. Everything's been a neshama. Did it make sense? And this should not make sense. It's a halacha. It has to be to make sense. You don't paskin from your neshama.
No, but the way you see things, intellectually, that's determined by the machine.
Elamai. It's not that they paskin based on the neshama, because their neshama had a certain tendency to go on, but they understood it apiseichel. Apiseichel, they worked through the sugya. Beis Shammai didn't say, "Oh, our neshamas come from we're Republicans. Gandik, we vote this ticket." Chas v'shalom, they understood the sugya really this way. They really understood apiseichel, that this is the right way of understanding it. Beis Hillel didn't just pick up a sign. We're Democrats. We're liberals. Chas v'shalom. They said that this is the way we understand the sugya. The same thing here. When do we say that a person is stealing its intellectual property? When do we say stealing? A person is mechadish, a shtickle Torah, and I just about understand what's going on, and I'm telling it over a parakeet, the words. It's not your words, so why are you stealing it? Say that the shtickle beautiful chiddush you found in the Lakota Sichas. Everyone loves to pirate Lakota Sichas today. Everyone loves to pirate Lakota Sichas. The Lubavitcher Chassidim say what the Rebbe said, that if it'll be effective to say not my name, you can say not my name. And others say whatever they want to say. But everyone is pirating Lakota Sichas. So it's not. But how do you do such a thing? That's stealing. But what happens if I understand something and it really becomes part of me? True, it was introduced to me because someone said something. Like it happens sometimes.
But
you learn
cultivated
something.
It.
Right, you learn something, or years later you think about it and you come up with the same, and then you go back and you say, oh right, it's here, it's right here in the Lakota Sichas, in Toysus, it's right here in the Bakivega. But you forgot you saw it under the Bakivega, but really you thought about it so much, and it became part of you, and you think this is the way of understanding. So now it becomes part of you. Once it becomes part of you, that's not called stealing anymore. When is it called stealing? When it didn't become part of you. So why are you saying it in your own name? Say it in the name of the person that was machadash it. But if you reinvented the wheel, it really became part of you. You could say it in your own name. Now that's where the Gemara and the Dorim ends and the Pirkei Avos begins. You say, true, Al Pidin, you're not a Gazlan. If it becomes part of you, you're not a Gazlan. But still, by saying it over in the name of the person who said the memra, you bring the Gula to the world. It's like always, when Yeshiva they used to say, if you're going to tell over a word from the Rebbe, and the Lakota Sichas, don't tell it over, don't say the words of the Lakota Sichas. What's so bad? I said, because then you're not understanding what's going on. You're just telling what the Rebbe says. Say what you say. It should become part of you. Say it in your own words. If you say it in your words, if you say a Talmud, it could be brilliant. Tell over every word of the Toysus. But and who says they understand the Toysus? If a person says it in their own words, obviously they understand it because they're saying it in their own words. So when you're using someone's words, cut and paste, Someone has beautiful Chidush Torah, cut and paste, you can put your name on it. You're stealing. But if you worked through the whole sugya and you came up with the same thought, that's not called stealing. However, Midas Chasidus, it's always good to say it in the name of the person that originally invented it. Why? Why? If it's not really gzei, why is it so much Midas Chasidus? What's so special about it? The answer is because in Torah there's a concept of a Masorah. Moshe Kibbel Torah Messinai, Masorah Yeshua, Yeshua's Kenim, Se'agenim Neviim. If you learned the introduction to the Rambam, we learned part of the introduction to the Rambam this year. We went into the 36th cycle of learning Rambam. The Rambam goes from Moshe Rabbeinu, he throws you all the Rambam breaks it down, 40 generations from Moshe Rabbeinu till Rav Ashi. You see all the Talmud. So, what's the pshat? You bring Geula, because really the Torah, all Torah comes from the Eibishter. But it's a conceal in this world. The Eibishter is concealed. When Mashiach will come, the whole world will see that there is Hashem Echad U'Shmo Echad. But when you say Torah in the name of the person who said it, and he said it in the name of the person he heard, and he heard it from his rabbi heard it from the Bashi, or heard it from Rabbi, or heard it from Rav Nachman, or heard it from Gamil, or heard it from Shimon, or heard it from Rabbi, or heard it all the way back to Moshe Rabbeinu. And who did Moshe Rabbeinu hear it from? From the Rebbeinu Shalom. So you're revealing the Rebbeinu Shalom in the Welt. You made a Geula l'olam, you bring a Geula. It's not concealed anymore. Now we see it's because that's why it's a Midas Chasidus, and that's why it's in Pirkei Avos. Because now you bring a Geula to the world, because this is all part of the Masorah in Torah. So now just to summarize, there's two dinim. There's a Gemara, there's a Gemara, there's a Gemara in the Dorim, and there's the Pirkei Avos. One thing is, the Gemara says if you tell over a Torah from someone else without saying his name, you're a Ganav. But the Pirkei Avos says no, you're not a Ganav. If you do it, it's a nice thing that you bring Geula to the world. It's not a contradiction. We're talking about if you just cut and paste, you're telling over a Chiddush in someone else's words and you're just pretending it's yours, you're stealing. You're a pirate. But if you thought it through and it became your thought, you're not a pirate. But still, by saying it over in the name of the Lakuta Sichos, you're bringing Geula. Why? Because Lakuta Sichos didn't invent it on his own. He heard it from his Rebbe, who heard it from his Rebbe, who heard it from his Rebbe, who heard it up to Moshe Rabbeinu, who heard it from the Eibishter. That brings a Geula to the world. It shows that this Torah is not hocus pocus. It's not me and you came up with something. There's a Masorah. There's a Masorah. With this Chiddush, the Rebbe explains another Mordek of a Chiddush of his father. His father, there's a Zohar where Rabbi Yossi heard someone say something, and he said, "Where did you hear it? Tell me where you heard it from, because you should bring the Geula to the world." So he said, "I heard it from Rabbi Chia." So the question is, why didn't he, to begin with, not say it in the name of Rabbi Chia? Rabbi Abba said something, so say it in the name. No, Rabbi Yossi said, "I want to hear who said it. You should bring the Geula to the world." So the Rebbe's father has a bird. He didn't say who told it to you. He said, "Where did you hear it?" When is the din that you bring a Geula to the world? By telling if your Rebbe told it to you. But if you happen to overhear it from someone else, then it's not like when Mordechai told Esther. She didn't overhear a conversation that Mordechai was having with someone. Mordechai overheard a conversation, but Mordechai spoke to Esther.
Direct.
If someone speaks to you direct and you tell it over in that person's name, it brings a Geula. Otherwise, it's not that. It's not. That's why Rabbi Yossi said. That's why the Rebbe Abba originally didn't say it, because he figured he doesn't have to say it. But why is it that? Well, who cares if it was said to you directly or if you overheard it? Because the idea of bringing Geula is because that's the Masorah of Torah. I heard it from my Rebbe, heard it from his Rebbe, heard it from his Rebbe, heard it from Moshe Rabbeinu, heard it from the Rebbeinu Shalom. But if I overhear something, that's not a Masorah. A Masorah is that my Rebbe told it to me in the name of his Rebbe, heard it in the name of his Rebbe. If I overhear something, that's not a Masorah. Still, it's nice to say B'Shem Emri. But that's why originally it wasn't said in the Zohar.
Why did he ask him if it's not so Masorah?
As extra, why not? But
Keep him away from...
If I didn't hear it and I didn't overhear it,
But I learned it, and I came up to a shot, and then I found out, hey, that's the same shot. Oh, the Meir
Very
says
good.
so what happened then?
You know what? There's a svara they say Reb Chaim
I said,
Volozhin.
wow.
No, the Reb Chaim Volozhin, I came to Mamachaba Sefer. They said, you wrote a Sefer. I could find on every page that your Sefer, I could find this comes from the Tanya and this comes from here. It's all been said already.
Yeah.
It's all been said. I wrote a Sefer, absolute chidush. I challenge you to find one chidush that I said that it comes from anywhere. So they say, Reb Chaim smiled and said, I'll give you a marshal. So a person is walking on the road. He's bumping into a lot of people. His friends. All of a sudden, he veers off on some road. It's empty. 10 minutes, 20, 30, 40. What do you start thinking all of a sudden? Huh? What do you think? I'm on the road. I'm lost. I'm going. There's 4,005 people, 5,500 people going to dinner, and I'm walking. I don't know directions, but I see a lot of hats, black hats. I'm going the right way. I'm walking in a street.
Road to nowhere.
No, the road to nowhere. What's going on? He says, when you have, how do you know that your chedushim are good? The guy says, he already said that. He already said that. This one, he already. Why? Why are they all saying it? Because it was gehalten. It makes sense. He said it. If you're a sefer, you can't find one chiddush anyone said. You're on the wrong world, man. You're on the road to nowhere. How come no one ever thought of the same chiddushim as you?
Well, that's why there's a story. Rav Shach once had a chiddush in Gittin, and he held on to it for 10 years. Finally, he told his gabbai, and the gabbai said, "Why didn't you say it?" Or a top student said, "Why did you say it for 10 years?" So Rav Shach said, "I figure if somebody would go like this, like that." He didn't want somebody to.
Okay, I didn't know Rav Shach had a gabbai.
He drove on the bed pathway.
Rav Shach?
And his wife called him. I heard in the radio there's one guy go up the wrong way on the highway. Be careful. He said, one guy, a lot of people.
That's it. This is cute. Again, to summarize, we have two din. There is the din of plagiarizing, zela. Then there is not zela. It's my chidush. I reinvented it. It's my words, but still, it's maybe gula lo'olam. Why? Because this is the Masoid Torah. This is the Masoid of Torah.
This is our Mishnah.
And this is the Mishnah. So the Rebbe's father says, what's the connection of Rabbi Yossi? Because Rabbi Yossi, he proves that Kabbalah was a Shoresh Neshama of Esther.
That's right here.
Rabbi Yossi is the name of Esther. Esther is Malchus and Rabbi Yossi is Malchus. That's why she was a queen. What's in a Malchus is Leisla Megamei Klum. Because Malchus is nothing of its own. Everything from Malchus comes from the other holy spheres. Malchus declares that there's nothing, I'm nothing. It's only for everything is the Eibishter. Everything is from the Eibishter. Everything is from the other spheres. I'm nothing. So therefore, Mitzad Esther is connected to Esther, and Rabbi Yossi is connected. That's why Daf gets connected to a memory of Rabbi Yossi, this thing of Mevi Geula L'Olam.
Gavaldik.
He said anything about the chicken and the gvina dafka and this Mishnah?
No. That's why it's a shaykh instead of Yossi. I'm Rabbi Yossi.
Yeah, this makes sense. Esther and Yossi.
Yeah.
Isn't that why Esther served cheese to Haman?
Maybe she put in a little bit of chicken there.
That's for sure.
Let's continue the Gemara.
And Mishta Yain, it says in the
Cheese and wine.
she invited the Mishta wine. Sod.
And cheese too.
Sod.
Tana Igre Chemur de Rabbi Abba. This sugya we're going to learn now is all about the separation of milk and cheese. How you separate how much time, washing the hands, washing the mouth, and what's the exact separation that a person has between milk and cheese. Tana Igre Chemud Rabbi Abba. Igre, the father of Rabbi Abba said, that these two things, you can eat it in the way of apikoiden. What does apikoiden mean? Like the word means, apikoursis. Apikoursis means, this way, that way, it doesn't matter. You can eat, you don't have to separate them. You can eat first the chicken, then the cheese, then the chicken, no big deal. What does it mean? You can't eat it together in a sandwich. It means below until sedayim, below kinuach peh, that you don't have to, in between the one and the other, wash your hands and wash your mouth. Zag the Gemara story. Yitzchak brei der Meshashia. Ikla levei de Vashi. Yitzchak came to the house of Vashi. Aisa lai gvina v'ochel. They brought him cheese, he ate it. Aisa la bisra v'ochel. They brought him meat and he ate. Now Tosfos is later going to try to figure out if it was exactly. Oh, this is what we're going to try to figure out in Tosfos. V'loi Moshe Yodei. He didn't wash his hands in between.
We actually do it in Shavuos.
He didn't. Amr Leiva Tona Igre Chemud Rabbi Abba. Igre Chemud Rabbi Abba said, Oifel Gevina Nachal HaPikoide. That Oifel Gevina, you can eat it free for all. You know, Oifel Gevina in. Only when it comes to chicken and cheese. Why chicken and cheese? We're makel because chicken and cheese is only the Rabbona. Oh, but Basa Gevina loy. But when it comes to Basa Gevina, no. So what happened? So why were you so makel? Amr Lahu, he said to them, Hani mili belayla. This is all by night. By night is so between the cheese and chicken and meat. Between cheese and meat, you have to wash your hands because they might be dirty. Aval b'yamama. This was by day chazina. I see my hands were clean. The din of washing your hands between a meat and a dairy and a meat meal is only if your hands are dirty.
From what?
From the meat or the cheese. So if your hands have cheese on it...
Well, he's talking about off. He wasn't talking about...
No, he's saying, oif, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to clean your hands, you don't have to clean your mouth. Because the Rabbana, you can be makel. But when it comes to meat, you have to you have to clean your mouth and you have to clean your hands.
So balayla, you don't...
So they asked him, how come you didn't wash your hands? So he said, washing the mouth, you always have to wash your mouth. Between milk and meat, you always have to, between cheese and you have to wash your mouth. But your hands, only it depends if it's dirty or clean. So by night, you can't see. Those days didn't have electric. So it was a little light, dim light, they couldn't see. So you have to wash your hands. But by day, I looked at my hands. I saw my hands were clean. So when they're clean, it was clean. This is the Gemara. Now,
but still, we don't find out how long after it. Okay, we clean it, but how long after we didn't find
that the Gemara is soon going to say that between after meat, if you want to have cheese, you have to wait kimesuda l'suda, as long as it takes from one suda to a second suda. There's a machloikes rishonim what that means.
3 hours or 6 hours.
Depends if you is 1 hour.
Nobody waits 1 hour.
So the machloikes rishonim. There is opinion that it means l'alter. Just if you once you bench, that's it. And that's the Rabbi Tam holds that way among many of the Rishonim. And other Rishonim say no. Mesuda l'suda means as long as it takes a suda. And suda those days, mashman the Gemara was from suda to suda was 6 hours. I don't think anyone today takes 6 hours from a suda to suda, but that's the way it was. Suda to suda 6 hours. So therefore, you have to wait 6 hours. Okay. Now, based on that machloikus, you end up having here also machloikus in the Gemara. Rabbeinu Tam holds that between to separate between cheese and meat, you don't need to wait 6 hours. So in the Gemara here, and the Gemara said that means. You don't have to wash your hands. You don't have to wash your mouth. Nothing. And but when you have meat and cheese, so then you have to have a separate suda. And it's therefore it doesn't matter which you have first the cheese or first the meat. You just have to clean your mouth and clean your hands. But the hands, it depends. If your hands are clean, they're clean. If your hands are clean, they're clean. So that's the Rabbeinu Tam, because again, the Rabbeinu Tam holds that you don't have to wait 6 hours. You don't have to wait more than 30 seconds. You just have to bench. So because the Rabbeinu Tam holds it, you just have to bench. So now when the Gemara says that between the meat and the cheese, you have to clean your hands and clean your mouth. So it doesn't matter which one's first. You have the cheese first or you have the meat first. Either way, you have to bench, and then you have to clean your hands and clean your mouth. That's it. The Gemara says a story, this guy didn't clean his hands. He said, because I saw my hands are clean. That's it. That's according to the Rabbeinu Tam. But the other Rishonim, they hold that no, after meat you have to wait 6 hours. So obviously after 6 hours your hands don't have any meat on it anymore. So they say that this story in the Gemara over here happened that he had first cheese and then he ate meat. But if he had eaten meat first, then there wouldn't be a discussion. What would be a discussion? You have to wait 6 hours. Wash your mouth, wash your hands. 6 hours, nothing left in your mouth, nothing left in your hands, nothing. They're talking about that the first was cheese.
Nobody said till the meat or the chicken it aklu b'me'av, it digested.
We'll talk about this. No one really says that. But they say that that's the reason. But no one says that you could wait less than 6 hours. It's either 30 seconds or 6 hours. So where does it come, the idea of 1 hour or 3 hours? We'll talk about it in Mitzvah Shem next week.
And who say Misuda Suda is 6? Where do you come
It's a
from?
machloikas Rishonim. We'll learn about it next week in Mitzvah Shem. But based on that machloikas, if it's 6, so if you say Suda L'Suda is nothing, you just have to bench. So when the Gemara here says you have to wash your mouth and wash your hands,
That could be one of
there could be either way. If you had first the cheese, if you had first the meat, what's the difference? You don't have to wait more than 30 seconds to bench. But the Gemara says, besides benching, you have to clean your mouth and clean your hands. And the chidush that if your hands are clean, then you don't have to be concerned. But according to the other Rishonim, that they say that after meat you have to wait 6 hours. So after 6 hours, obviously your hands are clean, and obviously in the mouth there's nothing left, no meat there. So they say that the Gemara here is talking about that you have to clean your hands after the cheese. Because after the cheese you don't have to wait 6 hours. So therefore they have to say you have to clean your hands and clean your mouth. As we spoke about this in one of the other shurim, that because in the Manamarot we have very lousy dentist, and so we all have to suffer because of that.
For 1 hour.
Because the Madame Rottenberg once ate cheese, and right afterwards he cleaned his mouth, he cleaned his hands, he ate meat, and while he was eating the meat, a piece of cheese fell out from between his teeth. He said, up, that's bad news, oy, oy, oy. So he made a gzeda, hard cheese, he also wait 6 hours. Now, which kind of hard cheese, what kind of hard cheese, we'll learn about this in Mitzvah Shem. But it's all the fault of that verfluchte German dentist that couldn't fix the Madame Rottenberg's teeth. If the Madame Rottenberg's teeth were fixed up good, everything would have been different.
I think if they had floss, it would have been okay.
You know the story, there was a Balagola, and they came to the Torah to the Rav, and he took responsibility. He's going to bring all the merchandise from here to there, and if anything happens, he's responsible. It was the middle of the winter, and there were blottes all over puddles, and he fell into a puddle, all the merchandise fell out, came to the Rav said, this was a contract. You said you're obligated, and then now there was an accident, it's not your fault, but you made an obligation, and you have to take care of the merchandise. He says, Rabbi, I have to look, and he said, I looked in the Shulchan Aruch, and in all the Sivkotans, that's the din. He says, Rabbi, I always knew we Balagolas have a disadvantage. When did Moshe Rabbeinu get the Torah? In the summer. The summer, who thinks about the problem with the Balagolas and the Blotas? If the Torah was just given in the winter, they would have a little more compassion for us Balagolas. So, if not that for that Michigan dentist, in that German dentist, maybe things would be different. Obviously, I'm kidding. The other day I was talking to someone a long time ago, and I don't know why he was all excited because he went to some lecture, a professor, Chaim Soloveitchik, and he mentioned in the shir that today the whole Jewish world is veering to the right. Oh, you're such a terrible thing. He says, I don't know what, but you see that in the days of Rabbeinu Tam, according to Rabbeinu Tam, there's no such thing as 6 hours. Cheese, meat, doesn't matter what you eat. You bench, you wash your hands, you wash your mouth, and that's it. You move on. this guy was so excited. You see all these. He was Nebuch. He was a front person. He was a little bit, sliding. He was in the middle of the sliding. But I said, Yossi, what do you think? Do you think that Rabbeinu Tam basically was a glutton? He loved cheese blintzes. He couldn't wait after the chon 6 hours. He couldn't wait. Always, like kids, we have always every Shabbos a struggle. The kids don't want to eat chon because they want matzah Shabbos. Yeah, because matzah Shabbos, we want to eat pizza. So sometimes we get so fed up, we say, okay, that's it. Matzah Shabbos is going to be no milchik in the house if you don't eat chon. So what do you think? You think that Rabbeinu Tam couldn't wait to eat some ice cream and some blintzes matzah Shabbos? So the Rabbeinu Tam understood that this is the pshat and the sugya. It's not that that the Rabbeinu Tam had the pshat is that the Rabbeinu Tam understood the sugya, and he understood that this is the pshat. The Rambam says that everything that's in the Talmud, every Yid is obligated to do. After what happens after the Talmud, so you have the right to understand the Talmud if it's based on the pshat of a rishon or a achron, but whatever you understand. So the Rabbeinu Tam had the liberty. If I understood the sugya this way, this is the way it is. If you feel that you are in the shoes of Rabbeinu Tam, and if you understand the sugya, that you with full certainty can say that I understand the sugya, and Mesuda l'Suda doesn't mean 6 hours. Suda l'Suda means 30 seconds. I bench. So go ahead and do it. It's like saying a person, if you have a serious machla, and a person knows medicine, and he knows medicine, and he's willing to treat himself. He's going to take these strong medications, and he's going to medicate himself. They say, like a doctor who treats himself has a patient as a fool. Yeah. So if he's ready to do it, gesundheit. But if you don't know what you're playing with fire, right? You wouldn't go. So why are we machmir? We're machmir not because the whole fruma world is veering to the right or veering to here or veering there. It's that we don't know what's for sure the pshat in the Gemara here. Rabbeinu Tam tells us the pshat is Mesuda l'Suda means 30 seconds. Just bench, wash your hands, wash your mouth. The other Rishonim say, no, Mesuda l'Suda means you have to wait 6 hours. We know that Toidas Hashem Tumima, we're playing with fire. We don't know if the pshat is like the Rabbeinu Tam or the other Rishonim. So therefore, we're right like the other Rishonim, not like Professor that the frum people today are veering to the right. We're not veering anywhere. We just want to Toidas. We want to keep Toida. And Toida is serious Toida. It's not a joke. If a person Chas v'Shalom is over on what the Eibusha says, it's worse than taking the worst drugs. It's killing the neshama, not the body. So therefore, we don't know the pshat in the Gemara is like the Rabbeinu Tam, or like the other Rishonim. The Rabbeinu Tam was convinced. Suda means 30 seconds. I don't care if you had cheese, if you had meat. You wash your mouth, you wash your hands, and that's it. For the Rabbeinu Tam was good, but I'm not sure what's a pshat. So therefore, and it's fire, it's dangerous for the neshama. So therefore, we wait 6 hours.
Just now.